check. Yes. So let's start, guys. So to understand this entire movement, you have to understand two variations of complements which has been created through the allocations. How do you look into it? The first allocation perspectives are always checked through 1 hour. So 1 hour allocation में जब जाके देखोगे, what are the first things that you will notice? Okay, where are my major intact levels and where are my volumes? Right? So in that pursuant, what are the first thing that market will always try to create? The market will always try to create a point of action, right? The just simple action way, market ऊपर जाने के लिए यहाँ पे high volume develop किया, right? नीचे आने के लिए market ने first indication of the point यहाँ पे दिया, right? अभी ये sustain होने के लिए हमें क्या चाहिए? Continuity in next 2 hours, we need a iceberg zone, 2 to 3 hours. अगर ये iceberg zone range में develop होती है, then we can expect the movement coming towards the nice 4060 and 4050, as this is one of the major impact levels, following through the next hunt point towards the liquidity grab range. To make sure this movement is developed at a right point, what are the next major things that needs to be taken under the consideration? क्या हमारे पास intact zones है या नहीं? Let's check that out. Right? In the current scenarios, what are the three major things that needs to be taken and observed in the considerating point? Okay, rejection as confirmation required with S2B1, right? Followed through with an intact, yes, right? The next candle in 7 minutes, if it creates, closes here and creates an intact at this point of 100% of the demand in 15 minutes, market could continue the movement towards the short through the following next intact point. Right? So with this major allocations, what are the next things that needs to be kept in the mind? Allocating status, what did market do in today's scenario? Market created a gap up opening, right? And it didn't create a hunt. It continued the movement 1 2 3, right? Surplus 100% complete किया, complete करने के बाद S2B1 के साथ short formation में develop हुई है. Right? With this development, what are the major things that needs to be kept in mind? Allocations, right? So how do you look for an allocation at this point of range? क्या मेजर चीज को आप allocate करके चलोगे, right? क्या हम यहाँ पे डायरेक्टली 150 डाल सकते हैं? नहीं. क्यों? We have a rejection at 100% of the demand. We had a rejection at 100% of the demand, and this movement is given a break. The first thing that you have to keep in mind is this candle sustaining first. अगर ये कैंडल सस्टेन होती है, उसके साथ कंटिन्यूटी में रिजेक्शन कन्वर्टेड इनटू मूवमेंट डेवलप होती है, तभी ही जाके ट्रेड ऑफ एग्जीक्यूशन दिखने को मिलेगी. वरना ये इंटैक्ट तक सबको बिठा के यहाँ से ही ट्रैप हो जाएगा फिर से. Right? So these are the few major things that you have to keep in mind. Always remember one thing, what are the allocation perspectives? आप लोग अभी भी कंफ्यूजन में होंगे कि विक से लेना है कि बॉडी से लेना है. Q4 एंडिंग स्टेज, सॉरी Q4 स्टार्टिंग स्टेज में आ चुके हैं, तो allocations will be always from wick to wick. Only the conversions will be taken under the consideration of the body or the single candle or the two candle movement. In case इन दिस सिनेरियो अगर एग्जांपल में लेता हूँ, यहाँ पे कन्वर्जन लेना है मेरे को, क्या मेरे पास कन्वर्जन पॉइंट है? नहीं है, राइट? सो क्या इस पॉइंट ऑफ एक्शन में मेरे पास कन्वर्जन है? यस, कन्वर्जन है. कन्वर्जन पॉइंट, कन्वर्जन कहाँ पे है? यहाँ पे, करेक्ट? तो इन दिस पॉइंट ऑफ एक्शन ये मैं ले सकता हूँ पूरा, राइट? ये लेके मैं यहाँ पे अलोकेट कर सकूंगा as a rejection point, right? Because this is a conversion candle. But when you want to identify a movement, what is the next steps that needs to be taken under the consideration? The next steps that needs to be taken under the consideration is in the direction or in a POI range, your marking should be always in perspective of to the previous. अगर मार्केट में विक क्रिएट है, रेड कैंडल है, because it was a previous bullish candle which got converted into a bearish candle, so from this point to the lowest point will be the action plan for the supply, यहाँ से यहाँ तक, right? So this is the new way of allotting a supply or a demand in perspective of Q4 starting. So इस point of action में what are the next major things? Okay, first allocation ये point कहाँ पे आएगी? With the nearest point of rejection. Nearest point of rejection से mark करेंगे तो M2 form हो गया, right? M2 form होने के बाद few people could have doubled it. No worries. Level of allocation same ही है, right? Because there was a liquidity grab candle, the market had created a 150% rejection rather going to 200 directly. So यहाँ पे क्या होगा? Surplus allot होगा, correct? So surplus allotment में 150% से the starting point of the movement, correct? So the starting point of the movement will play a role over here at the allocation. क्यों हमने इस पॉइंट ऑफ एक्शन पे यहाँ से नहीं लिया? क्योंकि 150 का रिजेक्शन सरप्लस में हमेशा याद रखना 150 का ही रिट्रेसमेंट से लेना होगा, राइट? दिस इज नॉट कंसिडर्ड एज 150, नॉट 200%. 150 का रिजेक्शन पॉइंट यहाँ पे है तो अलोकेशन भी इसी पॉइंट ऑफ एक्शन पे होगी. क्लियर? सो विद दिस द मार्केट सस्टेन्ड एट दैट पॉइंट, 20 pips variation में दिखाया है यहाँ पे, right, in this zone. With this 20 pips variation, market created a S2B1 setup and a fall, right? First allocation कहाँ पे लोगे? This is your first come first serve, right? So जब first come first serve allot करोगे, what do you notice with the body? Break and continue है, moving it to the wick, 100%, 200%, right? So in this point of action, what are the next steps that needs to be kept under the confirmation point? The confirmation point is sustained below 200%, surplus mark करने के लिए point नहीं है. Now comes second serving. Where is the second serving played from? This range, right? So जब second serving is in the play, allocation from the top, because 200% का confirmation break and continue में है, with this 200% mark. Yeah. So if you notice, the second serving took a rejection. अभी इस point of rejection allocation में what are the next steps that needs to be taken under the consideration? Market यहाँ पे intact pending छोड़ा है, यहाँ पे पूरा intact नहीं हुआ है. So market ने directly एक drop allocation develop किया है, right? इस drop allocation में what are the major things that needs to be taken under the consideration? First thing, do we have a conversion of change of character? No, we don't have it, right? So we can't mark a conversion of a previous candle. So जो movement action plan में develop होता है, in this case, this is the retracement which will be copied at the same time, right? So जभी भी हमेशा एक चीज याद रखना, अगर चेंज ऑफ कैरेक्टर नहीं हुआ है एंड डेवलपमेंटल फॉल आ रहा है, जब डेवलपमेंटल फॉर्म में एक ही चीज को आपको ध्यान में लेके चलना है, जो प्रीवियस बेरिश मूवमेंट है इन द नोटिसेबल पीरियड ऑफ 2 to 3 days, उसमें जो रिट्रेसमेंट पॉइंट ऑफ एक्शन डेवलप होगी, वही रिट्रेसमेंट पॉइंट ऑफ एक्शन यहाँ पे रेप्लिकेट होगी. ओके, विद दैट रेप्लिकेशन, फर्स्ट कम फर्स्ट सर्व कौन सा है डिमांड का? ये वाला. So this demand will get into the play to allocate the structure post this point, right? 100%. With this 100% break and continue, what do we call it? A M1 or a normal demand 100%? M1, sir, because there is a rejection in the start itself. Right, right. Why? This allocation is taken for the beginners where the first target will be only of a pursuant 100% demand. अगर यहाँ पे नोटिस अलोकेशन पॉइंट पे आओगे, रिजेक्शन पॉइंट कहाँ पे है? यहाँ पे. नेक्स्ट अलोकेशन रेड कैंडल यहाँ पे. M1 is formed, right? With the M1, targets are always 150 first, right? So this is the point of allocations which you need to take under the consideration and drop back, right? So with this point, the beginners allocation 100% complete हो गया है. तो यहाँ पे क्या आप डायरेक्टली लॉन्ग के लिए बैठोगे? नहीं. You have to wait. How do you wait? You have to wait through an allocation of a setup. वॉल्यूम आया? नहीं आया 1 आवर में, राइट? वॉल्यूम जब नहीं आया तो रिवर्सल पे क्यों बैठोगे? डायरेक्शन में रहोगे, राइट? रिट्रेसमेंट आया तो रिट्रेसमेंट कहाँ से लोगे? फर्स्ट कम फर्स्ट सर्व का अलोकेशन पॉइंट. So this is the play what you have to keep in mind and be always, right? So whenever there is an allocation point of understanding, sorry, my bad. Yeah. Right? So at this point of action, always you have to wait, dramatize the moment and be in the direction. हरी बरी में बॉटम से पकड़ना है करके बैठोगे तो 80% ऑफ द टाइम ऐसे उड़ाओगे. सेटअप क्रिएट हो रहा है तो बैठो, आई डोंट हैव एन इशू. If there is no setup, why do you have to sit in a direction which it hasn't created yet? Right? So in this formation, आपको दो चीज याद रख के चलने की जरूरत है. 1 आवर में इंटैक्ट पेंडिंग है अभी भी. And the second thing is the movement confirmation is currently bearish in tide and right? So the conformational movement will also be in consideration towards the short in the Asian session. Okay? Any doubts in gold, guys? Beautiful, Chaya and Varun. Good analysis. I have one question why that is considered as second survey. Definitely, Chaya, I'll help you out with that. Right? So, in this point of action, this is my one. Okay? Let's check till where the same demand works. Demand one works here, demand one works here, Demand one works here. Correct? So every rejection is in the point of the same serving ratio. So मैं ये second serving करके नहीं ले सकता हूँ, ये second serving करके नहीं ले सकता हूँ, because everything is considerated in an action plan of a single demand allocation or a supply allocation. जब तक इससे बड़ा डिमांड नहीं क्रिएट होता है, वो फर्स्ट सर्विंग में ही रहेगा. उसके बाद जो बड़ा मूवमेंट रहेगा, that will be considerated in the second serving, not in the first serving. So whenever there is a break of first serving 200% and you don't have a retracement in between the 200% of the first serving, then you have to take the second serving in the play. Okay, Chaya? नहीं, मैं डायरेक्ट एलोकेशन रनिंग में बैठो ही मत तुम लोग. आप लेट उठे तो मैं क्या करूँ? हम्म. क्या क्या सवाल पूछते हो सर? Can we take entry at 150% or a 200% rejection? If the market has created a reversal point of action setup, first thing what is to be noted, volume. If there is a high volume, then with that the setup is formed. Definitely you can look for an execution. If not, market will take a rejection in perspective of a previous retracement point 1 and 2 and then continue the movement in the same directional side. Okay. Any other doubts, guys? Not bad. वर्षा अभिषेक को ही भेज दो. कोई नहीं है यार, हरी में ट्रेड मत करो. एज सिंपल एज दैट. अभी देखो इधर, 1 2 3, 3 movements we have where the targets can be sustainably dropped by today or tomorrow. So wait, patience is the very important key. कोई और डाउट गाइस? सॉरी सॉरी, माय बैड. 15 minutes में दिख रहा है ना. स्ट्रीम विल बी देयर फॉर नेक्स्ट 15 minutes. जो भी डाउट्स है पूछ लेना. Sir, which supply and demand to take at 150% or 200% rejection? Sometimes it's small and sometimes it's big. So it always starts from step. It always starts from first come first serve, followed through the second serving in the same direction, if not with the higher time frames. I have one question. Before yesterday's night call, gold created a S2P1 setup, but then it dropped. So in my analysis, wrong here. It's 1 p.m. UTC. 1 p.m. UTC. ये नाइट में ड्रॉप नहीं हुआ है, अच्छा है सुबह ड्रॉप हुआ है. Yesterday one. Sorry, my bad. This is because of the POI drop, ना? ये वाला fall की बोल रहे हो, right? So this fall was inconcentrated in the formation of a POI, right? First allocation perspective, सब लोगों को यहाँ पे बिठाया था with a proper setup towards a long, right? But यहाँ पे immediately there was an IR point इस range of action का. उसके लिए द मार्केट टुक अ रिजेक्शन, सेकेंड एंट्री पॉइंट नहीं दिया था, तो एग्जीक्यूशन फॉर दिस ट्रेड कुड बी एट 4125.2 या 24.5 रेंज पे. ओके सर, अलोकेशन में थोड़ा कंफ्यूजन है, पूछो. एंड वहां पे S2B1 सेटअप फॉर्म नहीं हुआ था. S2B1 सेटअप के लिए यू नीड टू हैव टू कंफर्मेशन कैंडल्स ना. अगर ये इंटैक्ट होती ये कैंडल यहाँ पे, then we could have taken a consideration of S2B1, but there was no intact, so S2B1 wasn't found. In allocating the recent bearish leg, you took the allocation from 12 a.m. to 1 a.m. UTC, you know, 12 a.m. Okay, 12 a.m. to 1 a.m. Okay. Why did you take the first serve, which is allocation from 1 a.m. to 1:30? 1 a.m. to 1:30. No, why will I take, Ritesh? 200% break and continue, right? Break and continue में हमेशा allocation perspective will be in the first come point. ये retracement zone में था, correct? जब retracement zone of angle में है तो मैं इसके अंदर का ही कैंडल को फर्स्ट कम फर्स्ट सर्व में क्यों अलॉट करूं? वो allocation के हिसाब से यहाँ पे आएगा ना. फिर से सो टारगेट होल्डिंग जब भी चाहिए, दैट आपको एक ही चीज नोटिस करके चलना होगा कि वो रिट्रेसमेंट डेवलप हो रहा है कि नहीं हो रहा है. अगर रिट्रेसमेंट डेवलप हो रहा है, वेल एंड गुड. If not, the first come first serve will be the first drop of the demand always, right? So yesterday at that time I took a shot with three wing reversal at 139 and took 140 pips as ID trade. Beautiful, Usma. You have done a great job. Keep it up. Trade overflow. What was that message? Hi bro. Delete हो गया. एंट्री 215 यहाँ पे लिए थे ना. 123 215 PM ना. Okay, cool. What's your name? Trade flow. नहीं मैं उस टाइम पे था ही नहीं मैं मीटिंग में सो आई कुडंट कैप्चर द ट्रेड आई मैंने मेरे को ट्रेड ही मिला 24 के पास सो मेरे को 24 एंट्री थी उतना ही nothing you can start with there is a home tab in home tab first watch mathematical calculations उसमें दो कॉन्सेप्ट्स है राइट एक स्क्वायर रूट का एक स्विंग हाई एंड लो पॉइंट्स का स्क्वायर रूट का Q1 में ही काम करता है रेस्ट ऑल इट वर्क्स ओनली in Q1 but the another one TTS 2.0 works lifetime right follow that then come to supply and demand section complete the entire section then come to supply and demand होने के बाद क्या है volume and liquidity DO complete that then do 6 months of back testing 2 months of forward testing 1 month of live analysis कोई भी doubts है I'm here you can ask you can get it rectified and by the third month you will be able to execute the trades by yourself. Okay, also have confusions in identifying three wing confirmation, three candles having long wick on upside or bearish move with high volume, right? Chaya, step by step chaya. भाई भूल जाओ मदर चाइल्ड को सब अभी अभी भी आप लोग 2000 2005 के सेटअप्स में हो जो कि मार्केट उस सेटअप्स में बहुत रेयरली एग्जीक्यूशन में आती है होप यू गॉट द पॉइंट नितिन सभी लोग एक चीज याद रख लेना जब तक मार्केट आइसबर्ग जोन में है डायरेक्शन में रहो जो फोमो ट्रेडर्स है वो लोग भी एक ही चीज ध्यान में रखो अगर आइसबर्ग जोन है एग्जीक्यूशन रनिंग में लिया है मार्केट डायरेक्शन में ही रहेगा टारगेट तक ये क्या है आप लोग 10 पिप 20 पिप में क्या खुश हो रहे हो थिंक बिग गाइस टाइम गया छोटा सोच रखने का कल का लाइव जो होगा वो मेंबर्स के लिए होगा सिर्फ, ओके, नॉट फॉर पब्लिक. Hi sir, this is Naveen. I have stopped watching because I couldn't get where to start from, which point to have to put the lines even I bought the book. Nothing is getting. I need a video of from basic. Demand अच्छा है, right? आप रोज आओ ना, रोज ड्रॉ कर रहे हैं. We are drawing the same thing every day, right? Execution perspectives, you have to always follow one thing. What is that, Naveen? Is precisions. How is the precisions identified? Through learning, right? Book works as a manual, right? For that, you have to understand in depth. To understand in depth, you have to know what point of actions needs to be drawn at what point, right? With that precisions only, you will be able to learn this and you will be able to sustain with this concept. Okay. So instead of aiming for long trades, I have started booking 120, 200 pips, not more than that. 1 is to 3, 1 is to 5. वे कर रहा हुआ. That's beautiful, Usma. Right? Good start. I'm in market since 3 years. I only used to trade XAU USD and I have my own setup which provides accurate entries, but I didn't able to hold trade catch almost after your watching one of your supply and demand. It helps. I'm in the market since 3 years. I only used to trade XAU. I have my own setup which provides accurate entries, but I didn't able to hold the trade catch all the most after watching one of your SD tell. Okay, but need to know what is the start points. Great. Keep it up, Nathan. And good to hear that you're accurate at entries from 3 years. Keep going. No worries, Usma. You're welcome. I understood the concept, but precision points not getting. Find how to put the lines allocations. right? You understood the concept. By what name did you buy the book, Naveen? So everyone, whoever is new, beginners, and all the old members as well. 6 months of back testing, 6 months of forward testing, 1 month of live analysis. With 1 month of live analysis, come with a smaller capital, compound it, and develop. While development, keep one thing in mind, not to have FOMO, greed, or fear while executing. Follow the risk to rewards. We follow a risk to reward of 20 pips in Asian session, 40 pips in London and New York. It's your hard earned money. Make sure that you protect it by executing it at the right point with your analysis, with your psychology, with your experience and executions. This is Nitesh signing off. मिलते हैं अगली सेशन में तब तक के लिए टेक केयर बाय बाय